I truly think that he changed his career path completely.
So I noticed day to day, like it was getting harder and harder. The off speed was getting better. I felt like I was able to actually command the ball.
That solid progression of 2 miles an hour on average each year is typically unheard of. You have to create this narrative in your head that every outing that you go out for is your World Series.
Cole Sands with the Minnesota Twins, and this is my 3rd year with Tread. 2022, I made my debut. I actually really struggled, which was not a great year to do it, being in the year I was up in the big leagues for the first time. So I remember I was in Toledo, just got optioned, and I was talking to Brock Stewart about Tread because he did it. And he kind of pretty much just sold me.
He came to us after an up and down year, up in the big leagues, down in AAA, averaging 91.6. I believe the top velo was 94.8.
I got a lot better from 2022 to 23. The first thing I was doing wrong in 22 was I was super toey, kind of in the quad, wasn't really able to rotate out of that. So that was like the initial thing to work on. And then kind of from there was like keeping the pelvis like tucked in underneath me and staying stacked. And that's when really things started to like change for me.
He jumped up 2 miles an hour on average going into that next season. So he averaged, just over 93, topping, I want to say 95 or 96 that year. And then we just kind of rinse and repeat going into the next offseason, trying to push that a little bit more aggressively.
Throughout the offseason, and every day it felt like the ball was coming out firmer. I think I was just moving better. My arm was getting like less sore and just off speed was getting better. I felt like I was able to like actually command the ball.
He's also a reliever that has 6 pitches that he can use, so it gives him an advantage. He's not a 2-pitch, 3-pitch mix guy. He has a starter's arsenal out of the bullpen.
I try not to bother him on the weekends. So, it seems like every Sunday I've had a bad outing and I shoot him a text. I'm like, dang, I hate bothering him on Sundays. But if I ever have a question about anything, he's there to like do a deep dive and like maybe research some stuff for me. Yeah, he's been great. And I definitely would not be where I am without him.
He'll shoot me a text. I'll give him some feedback on it. A lot of times it's like, dude, just ride the wave. You got a little unlucky in this situation. We don't need to make any big changes. This season, we noticed that things did not trend back to what he did in 24 as well as we could have. So we dove in towards the end of the year and tried to figure out what can we do to kind of get him back on track. He was facing more lefties than he ever had. He was having problems getting those guys out. At the end of the year, we were like, why don't we add this gyro into the mix and see how things go? And towards the end of the year, he started to split that in. It looked really good and he had some success, the last 3 weeks or so of the season.
It is a long season. There's going to be maybe 2 months where you don't feel good at all. There's going to be 2 months where you feel great, and there's the 2 in between that kind of can dictate a season. And so that's kind of where I think he comes in and basically can kind of tell him like, hey, like, you look great here. This is what you were doing. Like, let's try and get back to that.
I mean, he went from a guy that could have gotten caught in that 4A role where it's always up and down, filler innings, throwing 92 just to get outs. And what he did was he took control of what he had, at his disposal, and he used that to find his way back to some type of dominant form of himself, where now we're in a spot where he can really do some damage over the next few years.